broadcast with that valuable perspective. Let me go across to Kamna Pandey, who's still with us on the broadcast. Ma'am, when we are looking at, we just had Menka Gandhi, ma'am, she said that, you know, even if FIRs are registered, there seems to be no action that is taken by the authorities. Nobody seems to be interested in solving this crime, but this is mass murder, massacre that is happening on such a large scale, ma'am.
I come from UP. I can give an example from UP that when the CM, when the government is inclined, is interested and is determined to curb a certain crime or a certain genre of crime, they do that. The police works under the government. Law and order is a state subject. My question is, like ma'am said, like Menka ma'am said, why is it in Telangana? Obviously, because somebody higher up in the government has that kind of apathy, which is reflected in the mannerism of the police. They are not bothered about, they are enforcers of law. Even whatever, we might feel that the law is not so strong, but there is a law in place. It has 5 years imprisonment. The police is the enforcer of law, and if they are not going to be interested, it is just reflective of the political will. That is how I see it. And I feel if the CM wants, it can be curbed within a matter of days.
Absolutely.
What we have to see going forward is whether that political will is there, or whether they have this short-sightedness that this quick fix solution of making the dogs disappear with just one lethal injection and one poisoned piece of meat, is that the short-term quick fix solution that they have for not having the presence of dogs anymore?
Absolutely. I think when you're looking at this situation, ma'am, obviously, like you mentioned, there has to be political will as well, and there has to be some will on the side of the authority, because if FIRs are being filed, even in this case, ma'am, FIR was filed the very next day when this incident came to light, but we have seen 3 such instances, and till now no one has been booked.
That's the point that I want to make. These are not just 3 incidents. Yesterday, ma'am is telling about 300 more dogs that were killed. I have news of 80 more dogs killed elsewhere in Telangana itself. So these things are happening not once a day per day. These are happening in different districts, in different panchayats, every single day. It's only the incidents that actually get recorded, or some animal lover or activist find out, and he goes and he records, and there is visual proof, and it comes in media. Only then, under pressure of media, does the FIR get registered.
Absolutely.
It's absolute banana republic over there. There is no law and order.
But then, ma'am, how do we go forward from this? If the authorities are not concerned, if the police officials are not concerned, how do we go forward as a society? How do we move ahead from this massacre?
Since what we all have on our minds is, the Supreme Court case that is going on, my request would be that the Supreme Court, the matter is brought before the Supreme Court. In fact, the killing of a few dogs, the Telangana High Court case has been transferred to Supreme Court. And I just sincerely hope that Supreme Court hears them out. And only when they say something will probably, it'll trickle down.
Ma'am, I'll come back to you. In fact, also joining us on the broadcast is Ambika Shukla, animal welfare activist and of PFA. Thank you so much, which is People for Animals. Thank you so much, ma'am, for joining us on the broadcast. Unfortunate news coming in, ma'am. We are getting reports repeatedly of dogs being poisoned with lethal injections and no action being taken. Over here, the village Panchayat Secretary, the village chief, all of them involved in this brutal mass murder, ma'am.
Yes, it is a truly shocking and horrific and brutal incident, and the fact that it is taking place in modern India is really frightening. And I think it is a direct outcome of the Supreme Court, display of lack of empathy towards animals in its hearings on the community dog issue. So I think this translates into escalated cases of cruelty all across the country. It's not just Telangana. We are seeing cases of cruelty from all across the country. But Telangana is especially shocking because in its affidavit to the Supreme Court, the state has asked for culling. They have never explored ABC. We sent a fact-finding mission over the last 2 days to Telangana, and the team has visited all these villages where there has been this mass culling, and the villagers unitedly have signed affidavits saying they want ABC sterilization programs. They do not want to be forced to kill dogs. So what the state has never set up ABC centers. In fact, there is a contempt case in the High Court of Telangana currently where ABC was supposed to be set up, directed by the court, and it was not. So Telangana has repeatedly refused to follow the law. It has not set up ABC centers, and we can see the tragic results of that. Dogs are paying the price, 300 innocent dogs. And these would be friendly dogs, the kind of dogs that you call and they come to you in trust. And we betray their trust by killing them and poisoning them as soon as they come within our reach. It is really sickening. And people who talk about public safety, are animals not covered in the rules of public safety? Do animals have no rights? And do we have no responsibilities towards them? It is really sad to see the outcome of the authorities' neglect, apathy, and I would say extreme criminal neglect in not setting up ABC centers so that the villages of Telangana could not avail of this program, could not find a peaceful resolution towards the community animals that share their space, and they were pushed into this brutal massacre of dogs, and dogs have ultimately paid the price for human neglect and apathy.
Right. Thank you so much, ma'am, for joining us on the broadcast with that valuable perspective. Also, thank you, Kamna Pandey and Dr. Bharadwaj. With that, we are wrapping up this bulletin and slipping into this short commercial.